Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 Virtual Education Abroad Fair. This session is for exploratory and interdisciplinary studies with a focus on semester-long programs. So let's get started with CSU's land acknowledgement. Colorado State University acknowledges with respect that the land we are on today is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. This was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for numerous other Native tribes. We recognize the Indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties nations have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU is founded as a land-grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion. And significantly, that our founding came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon. This acknowledgement is the education and inclusion we must practice in recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. My name is Vanessa Hayward. I use she, her pronouns. I'm Assistant Director in Education Abroad. I oversee our staff and faculty-led programs, and I serve on various scholarships, funding, and access committees and working groups. I am so excited to talk with you today about education abroad. And my goal is to inspire you to make education abroad a reality for yourself. So let's start by dispelling some myths surrounding education abroad. You might have heard some of these myths, and I'm here today to tell you that they're not true. So one of the myths about education abroad is that if I go abroad, I'm not going to be able to graduate on time. And that's not true. Education abroad can keep you on track for graduation. And in fact, our students who go abroad graduate at the same rate as their peers who do not go abroad. There's also a myth that if you go abroad, it's going to cost more than attending CSU for the same period of time. And that's also not true. So we have education abroad programs at CSU that cost the same amount as being a Colorado resident with in-state tuition at CSU for the same period of time. So like comparing apples to apples, a semester-long program to a semester-long program. We have programs that cost the same. We have programs that are a little bit less. And then we also have programs that cost more. And that's just the reality. Of course, you could kind of always go, the sky's the limit and spend more money. But if budgeting and finances and keeping your program costs the same at CSU is a goal of yours, we, the Education Abroad coordinators, Education Abroad team, our financial aid advisors for Education Abroad can help you identify those programs that are lower cost. I also want to share with you that you can fulfill course requirements abroad. And later on in this presentation, I'm going to share the exact process that you go through. It's called the transfer credit form if you're taking courses abroad that are not transcripted through CSU. And that will ensure that the courses that you take are going to count towards course requirements here at CSU. I also want to share that we have a risk management team that supports students behind the scenes while you're abroad. Also, that risk management team is supporting you even before you go. So especially in these COVID times, there's a lot that we need to do to make sure that the country that you're traveling to has a border that's open and accepting US citizens, if you are a US citizen or citizens of other countries. We need to know what are the entry requirements of entering that country in these COVID times. And, our risk management team has existed for decades supporting education abroad students. So it's something that we value and we put time and effort behind because student health, safety, and well-being is our top priority. We have spent several years developing recommended programs abroad lists for every college and every major at CSU. We also have lists for interdisciplinary studies, which is one of the focuses of today's presentation. So if you go to the Education Abroad homepage and right below the top banner, there's a bar with a bunch of jumping off points into the website. And one of those is the recommended programs list. So right from our homepage, and you can explore by college and by major, or you can look at the interdisciplinary studies lists. And there are 4 of them, and they're listed here on the screen. So we have programs that are approved for GI Bill benefits. We have recommended programs for health profession students, for honors students, and for pre-veterinary medicine students. And so within each one of these lists, you're going to find about 15 to 25 programs that are a good fit based on these interdisciplinary studies. So speaking of that, interdisciplinary studies, the focus of the programs that I'm going to share with you are the focus is based on these interdisciplinary studies lists. So I went through all 4 lists and I tried to find education abroad programs that existed on more than one list so that the programs you're seeing today, hopefully, regardless of your identity, your academic identity, may be a good fit for you. And I want to talk you through them all. So this is an overview of several semester-long education abroad programs, and they all show up on one or more of those 4 interdisciplinary studies recommended programs abroad lists. So the first program I want to talk to you about is Macquarie University. Macquarie is an exchange program, and it's a great option for students of many academic interests. It's on the recommended programs list for over 25 different majors, including several engineering, several business, some business minor, several liberal arts majors, several natural science majors, and then even other majors on top of that. And it's on the recommended programs list for pre-vet med, and it is GI Bill benefits approved. So our exchange programs typically run for a semester, calendar year, or academic year. This program itself is located near Sydney, Australia. Although Australia is an English-speaking country, the culture is very different from the US. Your housing on Macquarie would either be on-campus housing or off-campus apartments. So Macquarie is located on a beautiful 300-acre parkland campus about 30 minutes north of Sydney, Australia, in the suburb of North Ryde. It's home to 40,000 students and includes 9,000 international students from all over the world. The university has its own dedicated train station for easy access into Sydney and is also within walking distance of a major shopping center. With Sydney at your doorstep, you will enjoy close proximity to a large city that offers a multitude of activities, including museums, parks, and social events. So Macquarie is an exchange program. At CSU, we have about 17 different exchange programs. All of our exchange programs run for either a fall or spring semester or for the academic year or calendar year. Exchange is a great way to become immersed in a university in your host country. CSU has run some of our exchange programs for decades, and there are exchange students at CSU this semester, and you might meet some of them in your classes. Many of our exchange programs are on the GI Bill benefits approved list. Also approved for GI Bill benefits are CSU faculty and staff-led programs and internship programs receiving only CSU credits. To see which programs are approved, see the GI Bill benefits recommended programs list on our website and speak with the VA benefits coordinator in the registrar's office to see what you need to do to be able to use your GI Bill benefits on your education abroad program. So next, I want to talk to you about medical practice and policy, which is a program that's run through DIS in Copenhagen, Denmark. So this program is on only one list of the interdisciplinary lists, and it's on health professions recommended programs list. So through this program, medical practice and policy, you'll gain insight into medical field career opportunities alongside developing intercultural knowledge of different practices and policies between the US and Europe. You'll engage in a unique pre-medical experience by learning from local medical doctors, focusing on diagnosis and treatment of common diseases and ailments. You'll take this core course, Human Health and Disease, a Clinical Approach, and several electives. You're taught at Copenhagen University hospitals by practicing physicians. And there's a week-long study tour in a European country like Poland or Sweden. And one of the neat things is that you have 4 different housing options to choose from with this program. You can do a homestay, which is very close to my heart. When I had my study abroad experience in France, I did a year-long homestay where I stayed with a French family. It's a really great way to get to know culture and kind of make a deep connection. There's also living learning communities, residential communities, and something called a collegium, which is kind of the Danish version of a residence hall. And the collegiums are co-ed, and they house students from different educational institutions across Copenhagen. Next, I'd like to talk to you about the University of Exeter. It's also an exchange program, and it's located in Exeter, England, in the United Kingdom. And it's on the recommended programs list for pre-vet med, health professions, and it is GI Bill benefits approved. There are several other exchange programs on the recommended programs list for pre-vet med, if you're curious. And those include Lincoln University in New Zealand, University of Limerick in Ireland, and University of Tasmania in Australia. So Exeter is known as an Ivy League university of the United Kingdom, and it has a very strong international reputation for academics and research. The University of Exeter is noted as one of the most beautiful and botanically interesting of any UK university. The university also houses an innovative and contemporary satellite campus in Cornwall at their Penryn campus. Students participate in education abroad at the University of Exeter during semester, academic year, calendar year, or summer term. And although the UK is English speaking, this is again a different culture. Students live in university managed shared apartments and houses. Their Penryn campus offers fieldwork opportunities in several bioscience areas, and it's a really unique opportunity to gain experiences in the field in a beautiful and unique geographic area of the UK. So last, I'd like to speak with you about Lincoln University, which is, again, an exchange program. It is on the recommended programs list for health professions, pre-vet med, and it is GI Bill benefits approved. Again, as an exchange program, you can participate during fall or spring semester, calendar year, or academic year. Lincoln University is located close to Christchurch, New Zealand. Again, English-speaking country, different culture. And in New Zealand, there are several native dialects that are spoken. At Lincoln, you will have on-campus housing, and you have 2 options. So there are fully catered residence halls, which means that you have access to a dining center where someone else cooks your food, or you have self-catered units, self-catered apartment, which means you're going to cook for yourself. So Lincoln University is one of 8 government universities in New Zealand and is the country's specialist land-based university. So kind of like CSU. Home to approximately 3,500 students, Lincoln provides a close-knit community. The university enjoys a rural setting less than 30 minutes from Christchurch, New Zealand, which is the biggest city on the South Island of New Zealand. Outdoor activities are a major part of life at Lincoln, and it's perfect for students who are interested in hiking, backpacking, fly fishing, biking, boating, and more. There are national parks, fjords, rivers, coastal nature reserves, glaciers, rainforests, mountains, and a lot more to explore. So I hope that that overview of a few programs got you excited about some semester-long programs that are good fits for lots of our interdisciplinary students. And I would encourage you to go and take a look at those lists, depending on your academic identity, and start to explore programs that look interesting to you. So when you have your education abroad experience, it's going to be for credit. So you'll be receiving credit. And there's 2 ways that you get the credit. You're either taking a course that's transcripted through CSU. So you're going through one of our CSU staff and faculty led programs, or you're on semester at sea, in which case there's no transfer credit process required. Or you're going through an exchange program or an affiliate program where you do need to transfer credits from abroad back to CSU. And we want this process to be foolproof for you. and to be as low stress as possible. So of course we created a form because that's the easiest way to kind of get these things done. So here's what the form looks like. It's going to be in your My Ed Abroad portal, which is your application portal for your education abroad program. And if you're going on a semester-long program, you're going to want to enter about 8 to 10 courses that you plan to take while you're abroad. And you find those courses by going to the program page and then going to the course catalog for the university that you'll be attending and selecting courses that look like they will meet some of the course requirements on your degree plan. That form's going to go to the registrar's office, and the registrar's office is going to determine, number one, can this course be transferred back to CSU? And number two, will it be upper division or lower division credits for you? The second step on this form's journey is to go to your academic success coordinator or academic advisor, who's going to take a look at the courses that the registrar's office approved and then say, okay, for these approved courses, this is what they're going to specifically count towards on your degree plan. So two-step process, hopefully a successful process for all involved. You've got a team of people who are here with you on this journey. This screen says 3 people. I'm going to add in a 4th one. So the 3 people, you got your education abroad coordinator, who is someone like myself, who's going to be with you all throughout the process. Someone who's going to sit down with you if you need the help selecting a program, who is going to work with you on application requirements. Do you need a visa? Have you gotten your passport yet? Did you do all the application pieces that you needed to do? Then your academic success coordinator or academic advisor. If you're interested in going abroad, I want you to let this person know sooner rather than later that you're interested in going abroad, because they've advised other students who had education abroad programs, and they can give you some tips. Like students in our major, it's really best that they go abroad during a break or over the summer. Or students in our major can go abroad at any point in time during the year. Or here's a list of classes that you're not going to be able to fulfill abroad. So focus on trying to fulfill these other classes while you're abroad. The third person is either your program leader or program advisor. This person's going to be abroad with you on the ground to support you. And then that 4th person that I talked about is your financial aid advisors for education abroad. So if you currently receive financial aid or you want to receive financial aid, that person's really going to help you understand the whole finance part. And we're going to talk about them in a little bit. So to talk about our team, here's the education abroad team. You'll notice these faces. They will probably become familiar to you if you meet with us virtually or in person. We are located in Laurel Hall, which is on the Oval, and we're offering both virtual and in-person appointments throughout fall 2021. You'll notice that we're broken down either by region of the world or specialty of program that we work with, and you don't need to remember that. When you go and schedule an appointment with us through Navigate, you're just going to select from the drop-down window that says regional advising for Latin America or regional advising for Spain and Portugal, and you're going to select that way. But just know that these folks are here to help you with this process and are invested, and like me, want to inspire you to go abroad. We also have a team of peer advisors. Peer advisors are students just like yourself who recently came back from being abroad and are passionate about their experience and want to share that passion with you. So Brennan went to an exchange partner, Swansea University in Wales, and Claudia participated with an affiliate provider called CEA, and she was in Aix-en-Provence in France. And then Tia participated in one of our staff and faculty-led programs to Morocco. They're also working behind the scenes to support students going abroad. This is your 4th person in your team. These are the financial aid advisors for education abroad, Cindy Maris and Evelyn Martinez. They offer advising in person or virtual throughout fall 2021 semester. You can schedule with them on Navigate the same way that you would schedule with an education abroad coordinator. Please reach out to them sooner rather than later as well. Reach out to them as maybe first step or second step. Don't get your heart too set on a program until you've discussed it with them and you can make sure that it's a good financial fit, if financial fit is an important thing for you to consider. Also want to mention that we have an Education Abroad Common Scholarship application. This is a comprehensive scholarship application. So one application for the vast majority of scholarships that we award through the Education Abroad office. The deadline to apply for the scholarship application is based on either the term or time frame that you want to be abroad. And the dates and timeframes are listed here and also on our website. And you apply through the website for the Education Abroad Common Scholarship application. Next steps, our Start Here page. So if you go to our homepage and you click on students and then Start Here, lists all of these steps. So they're all there for you. You're going to plan out the classes you need to graduate. You're going to research programs abroad and get excited. You're going to meet with a coordinator like myself, meet with the financial aid coordinator, and then start applying for programs and scholarships. Our website is listed here. And we've got the Education Abroad Fair going on for the rest of the week. So every day at 9 o'clock, we have Education Abroad 101. Every day at 9:30, financial aid and scholarships. And then I've listed 2 sessions on this screen that I thought you might find of interest. And just know that every session that we have offered this week is being recorded and is put on our YouTube playlist. So I'm going to stop sharing there and I'm going to touch base with my tech host, Amy Jones, Interim Director of Education Abroad, to see if we had any questions come in.
We do not have any questions.
All right. Well, I thank you all for your time and best of luck on your Education Abroad journey. We are